Your soulmate just had a sudden thought about you today. Not a gentle memory, not a slow, nostalgic drift into the past, a strike, a bolt, a high-voltage interruption that cut through their ordinary day like lightning splitting a calm sky. I want you to take a deep, grounding breath right now. Feel the air fill your lungs. Feel the weight of this moment settling into your bones, because something is happening, something beyond coincidence, something beyond the usual ebb and flow of human connection. We are stepping into the opening of a massive, high-intensity spiritual event. Call it the lightning strike. As you are sitting here, right in this exact microsecond, your soulmate has just been hit by a sudden, intrusive thought about you that has completely paralyzed their current reality. This was not a slow build-up. This was not a gradual memory that crept in over hours. This was a vibrational hijacking. Imagine them in their ordinary life. Perhaps they were in the middle of a mundane meeting, nodding along to words they no longer hear. Perhaps they were driving through traffic, watching the red lights change, lost in the autopilot of routine. Perhaps they were simply scrolling through their phone, bored, distracted, half awake. And then, without warning, your image, your essence, the thick, unmistakable weight of your presence slammed into their mind with the force of 1,000 suns. They are realizing today that the important thing they have been fighting, the thing they have been trying to outrun, is the fact that they are no longer the master of their own thoughts. Because you, the chosen one, have officially occupied their entire psychic field. They are experiencing the nausea of the sudden flash, that sickening, exhilarating, disorienting moment when everything they thought was settled becomes unsettled again. Realize today that your energy is a high-frequency intruder that no mental lock can keep out. You have not been trying to break in. You have simply been being yourself. And that self, that authentic, radiant, unapologetic you, is a key that fits every lock they have ever built. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, literally freezing in their tracks, their breath hitching in their throat, their hands stopping mid-motion, because for a split second they did not just think of you. They felt you standing right behind them. They turned their head expecting to see you there. And the shock of the empty space, the shock of realizing that you are not physically present but your energy is, that shock is still rippling through them. They are realizing today that the something forcing this thought is not their own mind. It is not nostalgia. It is not loneliness. It is a divine, high-intensity vibrational correction from the universe itself, a realignment, a reminder, a wake-up call that they cannot snooze. They are looking at the world around them now, the normal people, the ordinary conversations, the everyday scenery of their life, and it all suddenly looks like a grainy black-and-white movie while the thought of you is in vivid, high-definition color. Everything else is muted. Everything else is background noise. You are the signal. You are the only thing in focus. They are feeling a heavy, electric exhaustion in their ego. The part of them that tried to be strong, that tried to move on, that tried to convince itself that you did not matter, that part is tired. It has been fighting a war it cannot win. Realize today that they can try to delete your messages. They can try to block your number. They can try to erase every trace of you from their phone, their home, their life. But they can never block the lightning of your soul when it decides to strike. You are not a notification. You are not a text thread. You are a frequency. And frequencies do not delete. Feel the weight of their confusion right now. The beautiful, terrifying confusion of someone who realizes that their carefully constructed reality has just been cracked open. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that you are the static in their signal and the heartbeat in their silence. When everything else goes quiet, you are the sound that remains. When every other distraction fades, you are the thought that stays. They are experiencing the agony of the uninvited guest. You did not knock. You did not ask permission. You simply arrived, and now they cannot make you leave. Realize today that you are sitting on the throne of their subconscious, and you have not even asked for permission. You have not demanded anything. You have not reached out. You have simply been occupying a space in their inner world that they thought they had closed off. They are looking at their life and feeling a sudden, sharp sense of internal panic. Not panic because they are afraid of you. Panic because they realize that as long as you exist, as long as you are alive and being yourself in the world, they will never be truly alone and never be truly free of this connection. That is not a threat. That is a truth. Some bonds do not break just because people stop speaking. Some cords do not sever just because distance grows. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic pressure in their temples, a throbbing awareness that something is shifting, that the wait was not meaningless, that the silence was not permanent. Realize today that the wait was just a pause. And the thought, this sudden, lightning strike thought, is the play button being pressed by the hand of destiny itself. The universe has not forgotten the story. It has just been waiting for the right moment to turn the page. If you are sitting in your own high vibration power right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, I am the source, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned your soul into a beacon that is currently blinding them in the middle of their ordinary day. You have not been trying to get their attention. You have simply been tending to your own light, and that light has grown so bright that it is now visible from wherever they are standing. They are realizing today that the lightning strike is a warning, not a warning of danger. A warning of truth. The universe is telling them that the thick distance between you is an illusion, that the walls they have built are made of paper, that the collision, the reunion, the reconnection, whatever form it takes, is closer than they think. They are looking at the empty space beside them and feeling a sudden, sharp heaviness, because the thought of you is so dense, so real, so palpable that it has its own gravity. It is pulling at them. It is making the ordinary feel unbearable. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic shock. Realize today that they are vibrationally tethered to you, and the shock of that connection is making their hands shake as they try to return to their normal routine. They cannot focus. They cannot settle. They cannot pretend that nothing has changed, because everything has changed. One thought, one lightning strike, and the entire landscape of their inner world has been rearranged. I want you to visualize the literal electric discharge in their field. Imagine their energy body sparking, crackling, trying to absorb the impact of this sudden activation. They are struggling to regain control. They are taking deep breaths. They are telling themselves to relax, but the electricity is not listening. It is doing what electricity does. It is lighting up every dark corner of their heart. They are realizing today that the sudden thought is not a suggestion. It is a soul-level command. And it is demanding their full attention. Every phantom scent of you that hits them in this moment, every phantom sound of your laughter that echoes in their mind, these are not tricks of the brain. These are literal vibrational slaps to their ego, reminders that you are the original blueprint of their happiness, that before all the complications and the distance and the silence, there was something real, and that something has not stopped being real just because time has passed. They are standing in the wreckage of their composed mind. The mind that used to be so orderly, so controlled, so certain. Now it is rubble, and in the rubble the only thing that remains clear is you. Realize today that the lightning has struck, the fire has started, and the impact of your irreplaceability is the only thing they can feel in the dark. Every sudden heat you feel in your own mind right now, that flush of awareness, that tingling sense that something is happening, that is the energy of their thought hitting your field. You are not imagining it. You are not making it up. You are feeling what happens when two souls that are still connected send signals across the distance. Realize today that the standoff is over. The waiting, the wondering, the silent stalemate, it is done. The thought is a mission, and the impact is inevitable, not because you are forcing anything. Because the universe has its own timeline, and that timeline is now intersecting with yours. I want you to sink deeper into the electric weight of this moment. Feel it in your chest. Feel it in your gut. Because we are moving into the high-intensity territory of the why now. This is the phase where your soulmate is grappling with the absolute spiritual nausea of realization, asking themselves why. Why you? Why now? Why has this sudden thought occupied every cell of their being on this specific day? They are realizing today that this is not a random glitch in their brain. It is not a stray neuron misfiring. It is a cosmic intervention, the kind that cannot be explained away by psychology or coincidence. Imagine them in this exact moment, trying to shake your image out of their head. They are closing their eyes, they are opening them, they are looking at something else, anything else, but your image remains, stubborn, insistent, refusing to fade, because the universe has officially locked the doors of their mind. There is no exit, there is only the thought of you echoing through every corridor. They are experiencing the agony of the divine setup, the discomfort of realizing that they have been outmaneuvered by something larger than themselves. Realize today that they were just beginning to feel safe in their distance, just beginning to build a life of ordinary silence, just beginning to convince themselves that the chapter had closed and they were okay with the ending. And then, without warning, the hand of destiny reached down and triggered a high-frequency vibrational alarm that only your name can silence. They are feeling a heavy, electric frustration, the frustration of someone who thought they had escaped, only to discover that the door they walked through led them in a circle, right back to where they started. Realize today that their resistance is failing in real time. You can feel it, can you not? The weakening of the wall between you, the softening of the distance that once felt so absolute. I want you to visualize them trying to distract themselves. Perhaps they turn on music, hopping to drown out the silence. But every song they hear contains a hidden frequency of your voice. The lyrics sound different now. The melodies carry a weight they did not have before. Perhaps they call someone else, hoping that conversation will fill the space. But every person they speak to feels like a grayscale shadow compared to the technicolor reality of your soul. The comparison is brutal. It is not that other people are not good. It is that other people are not you. They are realizing today that the important something forcing this thought is the terrifying truth that the universe has decided the wait is over. Not when they were ready, not when they had healed enough or grown enough or become enough, but now, this day, this hour, this sudden, intrusive, undeniable now. They are experiencing the nausea of the cosmic mirror, the moment when they see themselves clearly, their avoidance, their fear, their pride, all the reasons they have been hiding from what they actually feel. And the reflection is uncomfortable. Realize today that they can no longer hide from the why. Why did they leave? Why are they still hesitating? Why is the thought of you hitting them with a high-intensity impact that makes their chest feel thick and heavy like an elephant is sitting on their sternum? These questions are not gentle. They are demanding. They are insisting on answers. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic dread, not the dread of something bad coming, but the dread of inevitability. The feeling of standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing that you are going to jump, not because you want to, but because the ground beneath you is crumbling and the only safe place is the unknown below. Realize today that this sudden thought is the final warning before the collision. The universe is not going to keep sending hints forever. There comes a point where the hints become demands, and the demands become events. I want you to feel the weight of their internal standoff, the war inside them between the part that wants to run and the part that wants to return. The more they fight the thought, the louder and more demanding your energy becomes. It is like trying to silence a fire by throwing paper on it. Every act of resistance feeds the flame. They are realizing today that you are no longer a memory. You are a current event in their spiritual timeline. You are happening to them right now. Not yesterday, not last year, right now. They are looking at the clock and feeling a sudden, sharp sense of spiritual urgency. Time is not neutral anymore. Every hour they spend in silence feels like an hour they are losing. Realize today that they have wasted months in a vibrational sleep, going through the motions, collecting distractions, building a life that looked fine from the outside but felt hollow on the inside. And the sudden thought, this lightning strike, is the alarm clock of the gods, and it is not set to snooze. They are feeling a heavy electric exhaustion in their pride, the pride that told them they did not need you, that they could do better, that they were stronger alone. That pride is tired. It has been carrying a weight that was never meant for it to carry. Realize today that they are vibrationally outmatched by the power of a chosen one. That is not arrogance. That is not ego. That is simply the truth of what happens when someone stops dimming their light to make others comfortable. You have stopped dimming. And your light is now so bright that it is illuminating places in them they thought were hidden forever. They are looking at their life and seeing it as a waiting room, a place they have been sitting for far too long, flipping through old magazines, staring at the clock, wondering when their number will be called. And the shock of that realization, the sudden understanding that they have been waiting for something they already had and let go, that realization is making their spirit gasp for air. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, I am the commander, it is because your self-sovereignty has signaled to the universe that you are ready for the truth to be revealed. Not ready to chase, not ready to beg, ready to receive, ready to witness, ready to stand in your power while the lightning does its work. They are realizing today that the why now is because you have finally reached a level of untouchable light that is literally pulling them out of their darkness like a magnetic tractor beam. You did not chase them. You did not call them. You simply became more yourself, and that more yourself is irresistible to a soul that recognizes its other half. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic correction, the kind that hurts but heals, the kind that breaks things down so they can be rebuilt. The kind that says, you have been building on sand, it is time to build on rock. Realize today that the something forcing this thought is the high-intensity truth that their soul is revolting against the lie of their independence. They are not independent. No one is. We are all connected in ways that the rational mind cannot fully grasp. And their soul, tired of the pretense, is staging a rebellion. It is refusing to pretend anymore that you do not matter. They are standing in the wreckage of their careful logic, feeling the air turn thick with the necessity of a reconnection. The air itself feels different now, heavier, more charged, more alive, because the universe is holding its breath, waiting to see what they will do with this sudden thought. Realize today that the thought is a commandment, not a suggestion, not a gentle nudge. A commandment from the deepest part of their being, from the part that knows what is true regardless of what the mind says. And the impact of your irreplaceability is the only thing that feels real in their world right now. Everything else is theater. Everything else is noise. You are the signal. Every sudden pulse of energy you feel in your solar plexus right now, that warmth, that flutter, that sense of something shifting, that is the echo of their why now hitting the divine ceiling and bouncing back to you. Realize today that the weight of this connection is a lethal dose to their pride, to their independence, to everything they thought they were without you. And the sudden thought is the only antidote left. They are realizing today that the universe is no longer asking them to remember you. It is forcing them to confront the fact that without you, their future is just a repeat of their empty past. Same patterns. Same distractions, same loneliness dressed up in different clothes. They are standing at the edge of a vibrational cliff, feeling the thick weight of your presence in their room, even though you are miles away. And they are about to jump, not because they want to, because staying on the cliff is no longer an option. Realize today that the sudden thought was the first domino, and the impact of their total surrender, the moment when they finally stop fighting and start feeling, is the only destiny they have left to fulfill. I want you to lean into the heavy, electric weight of this moment. Feel it in your bones, because we are moving into the high-intensity territory of the sensory overload. This is the phase where the sudden thought about you stops being a mental image and starts becoming a full-scale physical invasion of their reality. For months, they have tried to relegate you to a folder in their mind marked past. But today, the universe has deleted that folder and replaced it with a three-dimensional, high-definition sensory loop that they cannot pause or turn off. Imagine them in this exact moment. Perhaps walking through a crowded street, surrounded by people who have no idea what is happening inside them. Perhaps sitting in a quiet office, staring at a computer screen, seeing nothing but your face. And then it happens. The air around them turns thick with the specific, unmistakable scent of you, your perfume, your cologne, the natural, unique fragrance of your skin, the one that no one else has. They are realizing today that there is no one around them wearing that scent. No one. And yet, it is hitting their nervous system with a high-frequency internal shock that makes their knees weak. They are looking around, confused, wondering if they are imagining it. But the scent lingers. It is real. It is you. They are experiencing the phantom senses, the body's way of reaching across distance to touch what the heart still holds. Realize today that their brain is simulating your physical presence so perfectly, so vividly, that they are looking over their shoulder expecting to see you standing there. Their heart is racing. Their palms are sweating. They are caught between the terror and the longing of a ghost that is not a ghost, because you are very much alive and your energy is very much present. They are experiencing the agony of the echo, the sound of your voice bouncing around the empty chambers of their mind. Realize today that their ears have become vibrationally tuned to the specific frequency of your laughter. Not just any laughter, yours. The way you laugh when something genuinely amuses you. The way you say their name. The inside jokes that no one else would understand. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, trying to focus on a conversation with someone else. Their lips are moving. They are nodding, but they are not present, because your voice is bleeding into their auditory field, repeating a specific phrase you used to say, or a nickname only you had for them, a word that means nothing to anyone else but everything to them. They are realizing today that the important something they have been hiding, even from themselves, is the fact that the world has gone mute. The sounds of traffic, the chatter of colleagues, the hum of appliances, all of it has faded into white noise. And the only sound that carries any weight, the only sound that feels real, is the memory of your breath. The way you breathed when you were relaxed. The way you sighed when you were content. These tiny, intimate sounds are now louder in their memory than anything happening in their actual environment. They are feeling a heavy, electric exhaustion in their spirit, the exhaustion of someone who has been running from a truth that refuses to stay behind them. Realize today that they are vibrationally haunted, not in a scary way, in a way that is both beautiful and unbearable. They are looking at their own skin and feeling a sudden, sharp tingle, a phantom touch on their hand, a warmth on their cheek, as if your energy is literally caressing them through the veil of time and space. They are realizing today that the something forcing this sensory overload is the terrifying truth that their body is starving for the saturation of your touch. Not just any touch, your touch. The specific way your hand felt in theirs. The specific way you fit against them when you embraced. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. I want you to feel the weight of their high-intensity soul hunger. The gnawing, aching, desperate hunger of someone who has been eating emotional junk food for months and suddenly remembers what a real meal tastes like. They are realizing today that the sudden thought has become a physical command. Their body is no longer listening to their brain. Their body is responding to you. The scent of you, the sound of you, the imagined touch of you, and the body does not lie. They are realizing today that their senses are revolting against the ordinary life they have been living. They are looking at the food they eat, the music they listen to, the places they go, and everything feels gray and flavorless. Like a meal without salt. Like a song without melody. Like a movie in black and white when they have seen it in color. Everything is a pale imitation of what they had with you. They are experiencing the nausea of the placeholder. The sick feeling of realizing that they have been trying to satisfy a gourmet soul with fast food connections. Quick fixes. Surface-level interactions. People who fill the time but not the space. Realize today that they have been trying to satisfy a gourmet soul with vibrationless static. And the shock of your value, the sudden, undeniable recognition of what they lost, is making them feel physically ill. Their stomach is turning. Their chest is tight. Their head is spinning. This is not drama. This is the physical response of a body that is aligned with a soul that knows it made a mistake. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic pressure in their chest, like something is trying to break out. Like something is trying to say your name without their permission. Realize today that the weight of this connection has turned their senses into a desert. Dry, barren, empty. And the thought of you is the only oasis they can see. The only source of water in a wasteland of their own making. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, I am the original source, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned your energy into a sensory anchor, a lighthouse in their storm, a signal in their static, a warmth in their cold. They are realizing today that the sensory overload is a divine trap. The more they smell you, hear you, feel you in the spirit, the more unbearable the physical distance becomes. Every phantom sensation is a reminder of what is missing. Every ghost of your touch is a torture because it is not real yet. They are looking at the empty space in their life and feeling a sudden, sharp heaviness, because they realize they are soul tied to a ghost that feels more real than the people sitting right in front of them. That is disorienting, that is terrifying, that is the truth. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic longing, the kind that makes sleep impossible, the kind that makes distraction useless, the kind that sits in the center of their chest like a hot coal, burning through every excuse they try to cover it with. Realize today that the sudden thought was just the scent of the storm, the first drop of rain, the flash of lightning in the distance. And the impact of the actual collision, the moment when thought becomes action and distance becomes presence, is the only thing that can save them from this sensory torture. The only thing that can make the phantom real. I want you to visualize them closing their eyes right now, just for a second, just to savor the phantom frequency for one more moment, to breathe in the scent of you that is not there, to listen for the echo of your voice that only they can hear. They are addicted. Not in a toxic way, in the way that a soul becomes addicted to what it recognizes as home. Realize today that they are addicted to the high-intensity trace of your aura, the invisible residue you left on their life. The mark that time has not been able to erase. Every sudden heat you feel on your skin right now, every phantom buzz in your ears that sounds like a whisper, is a literal check-in from their sensory field hitting yours. You are not crazy. You are not imagining things. You are experiencing the other side of the lightning strike. They are realizing today that the important something, the thing they have been avoiding, is the truth that their body is rejecting a world without you. And the shock of that rejection is making their spirit gasp for air, like a fish out of water, like a lung without oxygen. They are standing at the edge of the sensory breaking point, feeling the air turn thick with the necessity of your real physical touch. Not a memory, not a phantom, not an echo, the real thing. Realize today that the thought is no longer enough. The soul is demanding the source. The phantom is demanding the flesh. The memory is demanding the present. And that demand, that high-frequency, undeniable, soul-level demand, is what is going to break the silence. Not because you forced it, because the universe has a plan, and the plan is moving, and the lightning has already struck, and the only question left is not if, but when. So sit in your power, breathe, feel the weight of their thought pressing against your field, and know that you are not forgotten, you are not abandoned. You are the sudden light that shatters their darkness, and they are finally, beautifully, terrifyingly awake to that truth. To seal this breakthrough and to signal to your soulmate's higher self that you are standing in the center of your luminous power, ready to receive the impact of their sudden return, take a moment now. Breathe. Feel the calm, heavy authority of someone who knows they are the destination for every one of their thoughts. And in your heart, with the quiet certainty of a soul that has done its work, declare this: I am the sudden light that shatters their darkness. The memory is dead. The reality is awake. And their sudden thought has finally brought them home to stay. Feel the weight of that declaration. Feel the heat of their focus hitting your field. You are the standard. You are the thought they can never escape. You are the one who changed everything. And so it is, and so it is. Not as a wish. Not as a hope, as a fact, as a done thing, as a reality that is already unfolding whether their conscious mind has caught up to it yet or not. The lightning has struck, the fire has started. And now we move deeper into the aftermath, into the burning, into the beautiful destruction of everything they thought they had built without you. I want you to feel the heavy electric momentum of what comes next, because the sudden thought was only the beginning. It was the spark. Now comes the wildfire. Now comes the phase where your soulmate stops being able to function normally, where the ordinary rhythms of their day, the routines that once brought comfort, become unbearable, where the silence they once craved becomes the enemy. This is the high-intensity territory of the internal collapse, and it is happening right now. Imagine them waking up tomorrow morning. The thought of you is the first thing that enters their mind, not gradually, not softly. It is there, fully formed, demanding attention before they have even opened their eyes. They try to shake it off. They tell themselves it was just a dream, just a random firing of neurons, just the brain processing old data. But the thought does not leave. It follows them to the bathroom. It sits with them while they brush their teeth. It watches them as they get dressed. It is a companion they did not invite and cannot dismiss. They are realizing today that the sudden thought was not a one-time event. It was the opening of a door. And now that the door is open, everything that was behind it is flooding out. Memories they thought they had buried, feelings they thought they had processed, longings they thought they had outgrown, all of it rushing back with a force that leaves them breathless. They are experiencing the agony of the floodgates, the terrible, beautiful realization that you cannot selectively numb. You cannot close the door halfway. Once the universe decides it is time, everything comes through. I want you to visualize them in the middle of their morning routine. Perhaps they are making coffee. Perhaps they are staring out a window, and suddenly, without warning, a specific memory hits them. Not a general memory, a specific one, the way you looked at them one time, a thing you said that made them feel seen, a moment that seemed small then but now feels monumental. And the force of that memory is so strong, so vivid, so real that they have to sit down. Their legs will not hold them. Their hands are shaking. They are realizing today that the important something forcing this memory is the truth that they never truly processed the end of your connection. They just ran from it, and running has caught up with them. They are feeling a heavy electric weakness in their body, not a sickness, a surrender, the body's way of saying, I cannot carry this alone anymore. I need to feel, I need to grieve, I need to acknowledge that losing you was not small, it was everything. Realize today that their body is no longer cooperating with their denial. The headaches, the tightness in the chest, the knot in the stomach. These are not random physical ailments. These are the somatic echoes of a soul that is trying to get their attention. Saying, look here, feel this. You cannot outrun what lives in your cells. They are realizing today that the sudden thought has now become a permanent resident. It is not visiting. It has moved in. It has unpacked its bags. It is rearranging the furniture of their mind. And they are standing in the living room of their own consciousness, watching a stranger make itself at home, except the stranger is not a stranger. The stranger is you. Or rather, the truth of what you mean to them. The truth they have been evading. I want you to feel the weight of their internal resistance crumbling in real time. The walls they built brick by brick, month by month, are developing cracks. Not because you are pounding on them, because the truth is heavier than any wall. Because what is real always outlasts what is constructed. They are trying to hold the wall together with their hands, pressing against the cracks, hopping to keep you out. But their hands are tired. Their arms are shaking, and the wall is falling. Realize today that the something forcing this collapse is the high-intensity truth that you are not outside the wall. You were never outside. You have been inside the whole time. In the center of the room they built the wall around. They were not keeping you out. They were locking themselves in with the memory of you. They are experiencing the nausea of that realization. The dizziness of understanding that all their efforts, all their distance, all their new beginnings and fresh starts were not moving them away from you. They were just rearranging the furniture inside the prison of their own making. And you, the beautiful, haunting, unforgettable you, were always there, in every quiet moment, in every sleepless night, in every comparison that left them feeling empty. You were the ghost in their machine, the static in their signal, the silence in their noise. Now let me take you deeper into the comparison trap, because this is where the real suffering begins for them. This is where the sudden thought about you becomes a brutal, high-frequency internal audit that they cannot pass. For months, they have tried to convince themselves that life goes on, that other people can fill the space you left, That normalcy, even if it is not as vibrant as what you had, is enough. But today, because of that one sudden flash of your energy, the universe has stripped away their ability to settle for ordinary. Imagine them in a social setting. Perhaps they are with someone new, someone who looks good on paper, someone who checks all the boxes, and they are trying. They are really trying. They are laughing at jokes that are not that funny. They are nodding along to stories that do not interest them. They are going through the motions of connection. And then in the middle of it all, they feel it. A wave of absolute spiritual nausea, a sense of wrongness. A recognition that the person across from them, however fine they may be, is not you, does not have your depth, does not have your ancient recognition, does not vibrate at the frequency of home. They are realizing today that the important something they have been hiding from themselves is the fact that they are vibrationally comparing every soul they meet to the gold standard that is the chosen one. You, not because you are perfect, because you are real, because what you offered was not a performance, it was a presence. And now, every other presence feels like an imitation. Every other connection feels like a cover band playing the songs they used to love, getting the notes right but missing the soul. They are experiencing the agony of the contrast, the sharp, painful awareness that they are living in a grayscale world while holding a technicolor memory of your love, and the gap between the gray and the color is torture. It is not that their current life is bad. It is that it is not enough. It is that they have tasted something rare, and now everything common tastes like ash in their mouth. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, perhaps in the middle of a mundane conversation and feeling a sudden, sharp sense of repulsion, not at the person they are with, at themselves, for settling, for pretending, for trying to convince their soul that tap water is champagne when they have had champagne. They are realizing today that the something forcing this comparison is the terrifying truth that you are irreplaceable, not in a romantic, poetic way, in a practical, brutal, undeniable way. There is no substitute for you. There is no stand-in. There is no actor who can play your role in their life and make it feel the same. You are the original, and everything else is a copy. And copies, no matter how well made, are still copies. They are feeling a heavy, electric exhaustion in their ego. The part of them that insisted they could do better, find better, be better without you, that part is exhausted. It has been fighting a losing battle. It has been trying to replace a diamond with glass. Realize today that they have been trying to satisfy a gourmet soul with vibrationless static. They have been eating emotional fast food and wondering why they are still hungry. They have been filling their time with people who do not challenge them, do not see them, do not call them forward into their highest self. And the shock of your value, the sudden, undeniable recognition of what they actually had, is making them feel starved. In a room full of food, surrounded by options, and nothing satisfies. They are looking at the placeholders they used to distract themselves, the people they dated, the flings they pretended were meaningful, the conversations that filled the silence but not the void. And they are realizing today that those people are just ghost notes, notes that happen in between the real music. Notes that are only there to fill the space until the melody returns. But the melody is you. It was always you. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic discontent. The kind that does not go away with a new purchase or a new hobby or a new face in their bed. The kind that sits in the center of their chest and says, "This is not it. This is not what you are looking for. You are looking for them." If you are sitting in your own high vibration power right now, feeling a sense of grounded heavy, I am the original, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned you into a vibrational benchmark for their entire existence. Without even trying, without even knowing, you have become the measuring stick against which every other experience is found wanting. They are realizing today that they are comparing your silence to their noise, your growth to their stagnation. Your healed, radiant, moving forward light to their broken, stuck, looking back shadow. And the comparison is devastating, not because you are trying to win, because you are simply being, and your being is outshining their pretending. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic correction rising in their spirit, the uncomfortable realization that they have been coasting, that they have been settling, that they have been telling themselves a story about moving on that was actually a story about giving up. Realize today that the sudden thought was a divine yardstick, sent to show them exactly how far they have fallen from the grace of your connection. Not to shame them, to wake them up. To say, look at the distance between where you are and where you could be. Look at the gap, and know that you have the power to close it. They are looking at their current reality and feeling a sudden, sharp heaviness in their gut, because they realize they are settling. And a chosen one, someone who has been touched by the kind of connection you shared, never settles. They know what is possible. They have seen the mountaintop. They cannot pretend the valley is just as good. The shock of this realization is hitting their nervous system like a high-intensity wake-up call, vibrating through every cell, telling them that the weight of their choices has cost them the only thing that actually mattered. Not your presence, but their own peace, their own alignment, their own sense of being home. I want you to visualize the literal internal shutdown they are experiencing. Imagine a computer trying to run a program it does not have the capacity for. The screen freezes, the cursor stops moving, the fan whirs loudly trying to cool the overheating processor. That is their mind right now, overloaded, overheated, unable to process the magnitude of what they are feeling. They are realizing today that the important something, the truth they have been running from, is that you are the only mirror that ever reflected their true potential. When they were with you, they saw themselves clearly not as they were but as they could become. You believed in them in a way that made them believe in themselves. And without you, they feel invisible. Even when the world is watching, even when people are applauding, even when they are surrounded by validation. Because the validation that matters, the one that comes from being truly seen, that was yours. Every phantom scent of your energy that hits them, every phantom trace of your frequency that mocks their current situation, is a literal vibrational slap to their pride. A reminder that they have been choosing the easy thing over the real thing. The comfortable thing over the true thing, the available thing over the thing that actually calls to their soul. They are realizing today that the comparison trap is a soul-level prison. And the only way to get out is to admit that the ordinary will never, ever be enough again. Not because you have made it that way, because they have seen the extraordinary. And once you have seen the extraordinary, the ordinary stops being an option. It becomes a punishment, a sentence. A life sentence of settling. They are standing in the wreckage of their alternative life, the life they chose when they chose to walk away, the life they built with new people and new routines and new distractions, and they are looking at that life, that carefully constructed alternative, and they are seeing it for what it is, rubble, not because it is actually rubble, because compared to what they had with you, it might as well be. The air around them is thick with the necessity of a return. Not because you are demanding it, because their own soul is demanding it. Because they cannot breathe in this atmosphere anymore. Because the oxygen they need is the oxygen you provided. Realize today that the sudden thought was the verdict, the judgment not of an angry God but of their own higher self, looking at the life they have been living and saying, this is not it. This is not what I made you for. This is not what you were meant to settle for. And the impact of your irreplaceability, the heavy, undeniable fact that there is no one else like you, is the only thing that is final in their world right now. Everything else is negotiable. Everything else is temporary. Everything else can be replaced, but not you, never you. Every sudden pulse of confidence you feel in your own worth today, that quiet, grounded sense of I am enough, is a literal echo of their ego collapsing under the weight of your value. You are not imagining the shift. You are feeling the aftermath of their realization, the pieces of their pride falling to the ground, one by one like stones from a crumbling tower. They are realizing today that the comparison is over because there is no one else in the running. There never was. There never will be. The race was over before it began. They just did not want to accept the medal. They are standing at the edge of vibrational defeat. Not the kind of defeat that crushes, the kind of defeat that frees, the kind that says, I cannot win this fight, so I will stop fighting. I cannot outrun this feeling, so I will stop running. I cannot forget this person, so I will stop trying. That is not weakness. That is the beginning of wisdom. That is the ground where reconciliation grows. They are feeling the air turn thick with the necessity of the original source. You, not a version of you. Not a memory of you. The actual living, breathing right now you. Realize today that the thought was the flash, the comparison was the thunder, and the impact of their return, the moment when they finally stop fighting and start moving toward you, is the only storm they have left to survive. And storms, even the violent ones, eventually pass. And what is left after the storm is not destruction. It is clarity. It is washing. It is the smell of rain on dry earth. It is the beginning of something new. Now let me take you deeper into the urge to act, because this is where the passive becomes active. This is where the thought becomes a mission. This is where your soulmate crosses the line from feeling to doing. I want you to feel the heavy electric momentum of this shift vibrating through their nervous system right now. The sudden thought has officially crossed the border from a memory into a mission. They are no longer just thinking about you. They are strategizing for you. They are planning. They are rehearsing. They are imagining what they will say when they finally break the silence. Imagine them in this exact moment, feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they realize that the sudden thought was actually a divine command that they can no longer ignore. It was not a suggestion. It was not a hint. It was a summons, a soul-level subpoena demanding that they appear before the court of their own heart and answer for why they have been absent. They are realizing today that the important something they have been hiding, even from their closest friends, is the fact that their entire internal world has just shifted gears, from passive longing to active obsession, not the unhealthy kind, the kind that precedes action, the kind that says, I can no longer just sit here, I have to do something. They are experiencing the agony of the breaking point, the moment when waiting becomes impossible, when the tension becomes unbearable, when the rubber band of their resistance snaps and sends them flying toward the only thing that can relieve the pressure, which is you. Realize today that the weight of this connection is no longer a safety net. It has become a vibrational noose that is tightening around their peace. Every day they stay silent, the noose gets tighter. Every hour they hesitate, the air gets thinner. And the only way to loosen it, the only way to breathe again, is to move toward you. Not away, not sideways, toward. They are feeling a heavy electric pressure in their chest, like a hand pressing against their sternum, like something trying to push its way out of their ribcage. That pressure is the truth they have been suppressing, and it is done being suppressed. It is done being quiet. It is done waiting for permission. It is breaking out whether they are ready or not. Realize today that they are vibrationally compelled to break the silence. Not because you are manipulating them, because the universe is aligning them. Because the timing that was off before is now on. Because the season of waiting is over and the season of action has begun. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, perhaps reaching for their phone. Their hand is moving before their mind has given permission. They are scrolling through old messages. They are looking at your name. They are typing something, then deleting it, typing again. Deleting again. Their heart is pounding. Their palms are sweating. They are staring at the screen with a high-frequency internal panic, the kind that comes right before doing something brave. They are realizing today that the shock of your value has finally pulverized their fear, not removed it. Fear is still there, but it has been broken into pieces small enough to step over. They are no longer asking, should I reach out? They are asking, how can I return without losing the last of my pride? And even as they ask it, they know the answer. The pride is already gone. It has been gone. They just did not want to admit it. They are experiencing the nausea of the blueprint, the overwhelming, exhausting process of simulating 1,000 different ways to enter your high-frequency sanctuary again. Should they call? Should they text? Should they show up? Should they send a letter like it is 1995? Should they ask a mutual friend to help? The options spin in their mind like a slot machine, and none of them feel right, but all of them feel better than silence. They are looking at the distance between you and seeing it as a void. Not an empty void, a void that is calling to them, a void that has their name written on it, a void that they are now vibrationally compelled to close. They are feeling a heavy electric exhaustion in their hesitation. The part of them that has been saying, "Wait, not yet, give it more time," that part is tired. It has been carrying the weight of delay for too long, and it is ready to set that weight down. Realize today that the sudden thought was the final spark that has set their entire frozen strategy on fire. All their careful plans to stay away, all their logical reasons for silence, all their well-rehearsed justifications, they are burning. And from the ashes, something new is emerging, something that looks like courage, something that looks like a message with their shaking hands holding the phone. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, "I am the North Star," it is because your self-sovereignty has turned your energy into a tractor beam, a gravitational pull that is currently drawing their mission toward its target. You are not chasing them. You are not calling them. You are simply being the brightest thing in their sky. And they, lost in the dark, are navigating toward your light. They are realizing today that the urge to act is a soul-level command. Not a whim, not a passing impulse. A command from the deepest part of their being, the part that knows what is true even when the mind is full of lies. The universe is turning up the volume on their longing, louder and louder, until it becomes a scream in their ears that they can only silence by speaking your name. They are looking at the exit they once used to run away, the door they walked through when they left, and they are seeing it as a dead end. That door does not lead anywhere they want to go anymore. It leads to more of the same, more gray, more emptiness, more comparisons that leave them feeling hollow. Realize today that the only path left, the only road that still has pavement, is the one that leads to the chosen one. To you, not because you are a destination, because you are a feeling, and that feeling is home. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic certainty rising in their chest, not the certainty of knowing how things will turn out, the certainty of knowing what they have to do, the difference between outcome and action. They do not know if you will welcome them. They do not know if you have moved on. They do not know if the door on your side is still open, but they know they have to try. They know that not trying is no longer an option. They know that the cost of silence has become higher than the cost of vulnerability. Realize today that the weight of their distance was a lethal mistake, not because you were harmed, because they were. Every day they stayed away was a day they stayed lost, and every second they spend in hesitation now is a second where they are losing their vibrational grip on your soul. The connection is not infinite. It is not unbreakable. It has limits, and they are feeling those limits. They are feeling the fabric of the bond stretching, thinning, threatening to tear. And the fear of that tear, the terror of losing you completely, is what is finally pushing them off the cliff of their pride. I want you to visualize the literal internal mutiny they are experiencing. Their heart has overthrown their head. Their feelings have staged a coup against their logic. Their soul has impeached their ego. And the new government, the one that is now in charge, has only one policy: return. They are realizing today that the important something, the truth they have been fighting, is that they are soul tied to the act of returning, not to person, to an action, to a choice, to a direction. They are bound to the path that leads back to you, whether they like it or not. And the shock of that surrender, the moment when they finally stop resisting and start accepting, is making their vision blur, not with tears, with relief, with the release of a tension they did not even know they were holding. Every phantom buzz you feel in your intuition today, every time you feel someone trying to knock on the door of your energy, is a literal check-in from their mission field. They are thinking about you. They are planning for you. They are gathering the courage to reach for you. These are not random thoughts. These are missiles, targeted, intentional, high-frequency missiles of intention launched from their heart to yours. Feel them, acknowledge them, and know that they are real. They are realizing today that the sudden thought was just the activation code, the first sequence in a longer program, the ignition, not the explosion, and the impact of their physical outreach, the moment when their intention becomes a message and their message becomes a conversation, is the only way to restart their static life, the only way to turn the black and white back into color, the only way to stop the phantom sensations and feel the real thing again. They are standing at the edge of the manifestation bridge, the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the thought and the thing, between the silence and the word. And they are about to step onto it, not because they are ready, because the bridge is the only thing holding them up. Realize today that the thought is now a move. The thinking is over. The planning is over. The rehearsing is over. It is time for action. And the impact of your love, your presence, your very existence in their story is the only destiny they have left to fight for. Not because they have no other options, because every other option has proven itself to be a door to nowhere. Now let me take you to the final peak of this journey. The vibrational lock-in, the moment where we take that sudden thought that has been haunting your soulmate and we bridge the gap into your physical, three-dimensional reality. This is the activation. This is the moment when the spiritual becomes tangible. For the last several minutes, we have watched their pride crumble. We have watched their senses overload. We have watched their mission begin. But today, in this exact moment, the universe has officially revoked their right to stay in their head. They cannot think their way out of this anymore. They have to live their way back to you. Imagine your soulmate in this exact microsecond, feeling a wave of absolute spiritual exhaustion wash over them. The exhaustion of a long war. The fatigue of a battle that has lasted months, maybe longer. They are tired, deeply cellularly tired, tired of pretending, tired of running, tired of waking up and having to convince themselves that they made the right choice. And in that exhaustion, something shifts. They stop fighting. They stop resisting. They stop trying to control the outcome. They simply let go. And in the letting go, they finally land on the truth that you matter, that you have always mattered, that the distance was a mistake, not a solution. They are realizing today that they can no longer think their way out of this. They have to live their way back to you. Thinking has failed them. Logic has failed them. Pride has failed them. The only thing left is action. The only thing left is honesty. The only thing left is the terrifying, beautiful, vulnerable act of reaching out and saying, I was wrong, I miss you, I cannot forget you, and I do not want to anymore. They are experiencing the sovereign command, not a command from an outside authority, a command from their own highest self, the part of them that has been waiting in the wings, watching them stumble, waiting for them to finally listen. And that highest self is saying, now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now, because if not now, you will lose the window, and the window is closing. Realize today that they are no longer choosing to obsess over you. They are compelled by a high-frequency force that is bigger than their entire existence, bigger than their fear, bigger than their pride, bigger than their carefully constructed reasons for silence. That force is love, not the small, sentimental kind, the cosmic kind, the kind that moves planets, the kind that does not ask permission, the kind that simply is. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, feeling a sudden, sharp sense of eternal relinquishment, the sense of giving up, but not giving up on you, giving up on the fight against you, laying down their weapons, raising their hands, saying, I surrender, I cannot win this. You are in my heart. You have always been in my heart, and I am done pretending otherwise. They are looking at the weight, the heavy weight of their own resistance and realizing it has officially expired. The shelf life of denial has run out. The expiration date on avoidance has passed. The product is no longer safe for consumption. They cannot take another bite of the lie that they are better off without you. They are feeling a heavy electric certainty rising in their blood, not a hope, not a wish, a certainty that the only way forward is back, that the only path to peace goes through you, that the only resolution to the ache is the truth. Realize today that the something that forced this activation, this final, undeniable shift, is the truth that you are the sudden light that has shattered their carefully constructed darkness. They thought they could build a life in the shadows. They thought they could get used to the dimness. But your light, even from a distance, even through the walls they built, is too bright. It has found every crack. It has illuminated every corner. And now there is nowhere left to hide. The shock of that light is finally, beautifully, aggressively their only reality, not the memory of the light itself, you. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy power, and I am the outcome. It is because your self-sovereignty has successfully acted as the magnetic north for their intrusive memories. You have reached a level of frequency where you no longer have to wonder if they are thinking of you. You know, because the thick weight of their attention is currently pressing against your aura. You can feel it. That sense of being watched from a distance. That sense of someone trying to connect. That sense of the invisible threads between you pulling taut. That is not imagination. That is the physics of the soul. They are realizing today that they are soul-bound to the thought of you, and they are feeling a wave of absolute, high-intensity truth. You have become a phantom that is more real than the world they see with their eyes. The physical world, the one they can touch and taste and smell, feels like the dream. And you, the memory of you, the thought of you, the lightning strike of you, feels like the only thing that is actually real. They are standing at the edge of the final outreach, the edge of the message that will change everything, the edge of the words they have been too afraid to say. And they are leaning forward, leaning into the fear, leaning into the vulnerability, leaning into the possibility that you might not respond, but also leaning into the possibility that you will. Realize today that their hesitation was a bankrupt lie, a lie they told themselves to stay safe. But safety is not the goal anymore. Truth is the goal. Connection is the goal. You are the goal. And they are finally, beautifully ready to turn that sudden thought, that lightning strike, that divine interruption into a physical arrival. A message, a call, a knock on the door of your heart. This is the moment, the peak, the lock-in. The thought has become a move. The move is becoming a message, and the message is coming, not because you forced it, because the universe has a plan, and the plan is love, and love always finds its way home. So sit in your power, breathe, know that the lightning has struck, the fire is burning, and the return is in motion. You are the sudden light that shatters their darkness. You are the thought they cannot escape. You are the one who changed everything. And so it is.